You have shattered every expectation that was ever set against you, defying all odds with a strength that continues to leave many in shock and disbelief. People around you are left questioning how you keep rising above every challenge, no matter how relentless or overwhelming it seems. From the very beginning, some built their own assumptions about your future, convinced that you would always remain trapped within the limitations they tried so hard to place upon you. They went to great lengths to block your progress, stripping away opportunities and trying to make sure you never had a chance to break free or realize your true potential. These efforts to sabotage your journey were deliberate. Every trap they laid, every alliance they formed with those who sought to see you fail, all orchestrated in hopes of bringing you down. They conspired in the shadows, believing their actions would go unnoticed, convinced their attempts to intimidate, harass, and create chaos in your life would break your spirit for good. Their expectations weren't just low, they were cruel. Some secretly wished to see you completely defeated, struggling without hope or resources, even imagining you in situations as harsh as being behind bars or left homeless, believing their schemes would go unchecked. Their intentions were steeped in malice, but what they failed to realize was that each attempt to destroy you would ultimately be overturned by forces far greater than they could see. They underestimated the presence of unseen protection around you, unaware that every harmful plot would end up becoming a lesson in their own downfall. Behind closed doors, their conversations dripped with bitterness and resentment, spreading negativity in hopes of wearing down your resolve. The steady flow of hostility was overwhelming, designed to push you to the very edge. But instead of breaking, you found new strength, becoming living proof that no amount of darkness can snuff out a spirit destined to rise. They wanted you to doubt everything about yourself, hoping you get lost in the whirlwind of chaos they so carefully constructed around you. Their strategy was to shake your confidence, to make you second-guess every step you took, every choice you made, until you started to believe their lies over your own inner knowing. But let's pause for a moment, family. If this message is resonating deep within your soul and you feel called to support this sacred work, consider buying me a coffee. Your support helps keep this channel flowing with truth, light, and divine clarity. The link is in the description below. And if you're feeling the energy, drop number 88 in the comments so we know you're part of this movement. Now let's get back to it. It's important to recognize the magnitude of what you faced. It didn't just take one or two people to try and bring you down. It took entire groups banding together, pooling their energy and intentions for the sole purpose of breaking your spirit. That fact alone speaks volumes about your power and the intensity of your light. When so many unite against one individual, it only exposes the immense strength of the person they fear most. True strength isn't measured by how many people stand behind you, but by your capacity to endure, to stand tall and unshaken, no matter how many come against you. That strength, along with a deep well of wisdom, was placed within you for a reason. Every trial you endured, every attempt to break you, only forged you into a more radiant, unyielding force. The glow that surrounds you now is impossible to deny. It radiates in ways that others simply can't understand, and it's the reason doors keep opening for you, even as others try to block your way. People struggle to comprehend why your journey unfolds differently, why blessings and opportunities find you despite everything done to hold you back. Many of them spoke against you, plotted in secret, and acted with intention to see you fail. But they overlooked a universal truth. Consequences always follow action. Every scheme they set in motion was a trap they believed you would fall into, never once considering that they might be sealing their own fate. Their focus was locked on you, watching, waiting, hoping for your downfall. So much so that they became blind to their own missteps, walking straight into the very pits they dug for you. Meanwhile, you kept moving ahead with grace, purpose, and dignity, never letting their obsession pull you off your path. This is what truly sets you apart, and why, no matter how hard they try, your light keeps shining, and your journey continues to unfold in ways they could never have predicted. They exhausted themselves with endless schemes and secret meetings, not realizing that every ounce of energy they invested in plotting against you would ultimately be their own undoing. While they spent nights strategizing and weaving negativity, Completely unaware that their efforts would only lead them down a path of disappointment, your spirit remained untouched by their attempts to sabotage your journey. Now, the very people who once brushed you off, doubted your abilities, or gossiped behind your back are finding themselves unable to look away. They're being confronted by the reality of who you truly are, someone they can no longer ignore because the light within you has grown too bright to be hidden by anyone's shadow. These are the same individuals who stared at you through eyes clouded by doubt, who carried around negativity as if it were a shield, not realizing that the day would come when they'd have no choice but to acknowledge your inner power. Every opponent, every skeptic, every person who tried to place limitations on your worth is now facing a truth they can't deny. Whether it was family members who refused to see your potential, friends who drifted away because they couldn't understand your growth, or strangers who tried to define you by your setbacks, each one is now confronted with the undeniable evidence of your strength. They thought your story would end in defeat, that your life would be marked by failure and hardship. But every time they looked in your direction, hoping to witness your downfall, all they saw was the emergence of a power they never anticipated. You became the leader they once tried to silence, the example they now wish they could follow. Their attempts to rewrite your story or paint you in the colors of their own insecurities failed every time, because you were always meant to rise above the limitations they tried to place upon you. Every scheme to diminish your worth, every whisper campaign meant to break your spirit, was ultimately wasted energy. Greatness was never something you had to chase. It was always a part of your being, patiently waiting for the moment when the world would finally recognize it. The struggles you faced were never meant to define your life or sentence you to a future of lack and hardship. While others were busy wasting their time plotting and hoping to see you stumble, your destiny was quietly unfolding, lifting you higher until even your critics were forced to respect the magnitude of your light. You have done the unimaginable, rising above every single expectation that was ever set to limit you, refusing to be boxed in by the judgments and projections of others. From the very start, people around you set up invisible barriers and quietly whispered doubts, thinking you'd never find the strength to move beyond the boundaries they created. But you didn't just step over those lines. You demolished them, shattering every single limitation that was placed in your way, and proving time after time that obstacles have no real power when your spirit is driven by true strength and unwavering determination. Each setback, each moment of adversity, became fuel for your journey rather than a reason to give up. The world watched as you refused to be defined by the negative circumstances or by the pessimism of those who never truly saw you for who you are. They assumed that your story would be one of failure and defeat, but what they're witnessing now is a testament to your resilience, a story rewritten with triumph, courage, and undeniable growth. Now the tables have turned. Those same voices that once mocked you, the ones who dismissed your abilities or brushed off your dreams as impossible, are beginning to realize how deeply they underestimated you. Many of them now look to you for inspiration, seeking your wisdom, encouragement, and motivation, drawn to the light that radiates from your journey and your words. The very people who failed to see your potential, who once believed you would always remain stuck or lost, are now forced to face the undeniable truth. Greatness was always within you, quietly waiting for its moment to be revealed. Some will still resist this reality, stubbornly holding on to their doubts, opinions, or even jealousy, as if those things could somehow shield them from their own regrets or insecurities. But the truth is, none of those old judgments matter. Not anymore. Their opinions were never a true measure of your worth or your destiny, and their inability to see your value only highlights how far you've come without their validation. What has really propelled you forward is something much deeper, a powerful blend of confidence, clarity of purpose, and the relentless resilience that has seen you through every storm. Your journey has been defined not by the limitations others placed on you, but by your refusal to accept them as reality. Every struggle you encountered became an opportunity for growth, every setback a lesson in strength, and every door that closed made you more resourceful and determined. These experiences have illuminated your path, transforming you in ways that even you might not have expected. revealing layers of courage and wisdom that continue to surprise those who doubted you. This growth has reshaped you from the inside out, forging a maturity and depth of character that now set you apart from everyone who ever tried to hold you back. You have become someone that the people from your past, whether they be critics, naysayers, or even former friends and family, can no longer define or put into a box. They are left struggling to comprehend the magnitude of your transformation, and in many ways, their confusion is a testament to just how far you've come. The maturity, wisdom, and spiritual clarity you now embody make you unrecognizable to those who only knew the old version of you. Their understanding, however, is not required for your journey to continue, nor does their acceptance hold any power over your destiny. The only thing left for them to do is step aside, to release the hold of their outdated perceptions and allow you the space to walk freely into your future, one that is no longer shadowed by interference, judgment, or doubt. Their efforts to hold you back, to keep you bound in struggle and weighed down by unnecessary burdens, have failed completely. The weight they tried to place on your shoulders has only made you stronger, more compassionate, and even more determined to pursue the life you are meant to live in. Rising above every attempt to limit you, you have become a beacon for others, a living example of what is possible when you refuse to be defined by the world's limitations and choose instead to believe in the power within yourself. Now you stand not just as a survivor, but as a leader and a light for all those who are still fighting to break free, showing them that it's not only possible, but inevitable when you walk your path with faith, courage, and authenticity. The burden they once schemed to place on your shoulders has not only shifted, but has become a weight they can no longer avoid. Instead of seeing you falter beneath the pressure of their plots, they are the ones now feeling trapped by the consequences of their actions. In a complete reversal, they are forced to stand on the sidelines, helplessly witnessing the brilliance of the light they once tried so desperately to dim. Every achievement you make, every step you take forward, is a living reminder of what they failed to stop. And this reality unsettles them in ways they never anticipated. Your very presence stirs up discomfort and confusion deep within them, awakening emotions they tried to hide. Some watch you in complete silence, unable to express their true feelings as they swallow their pride and attempt to mask their disappointment. Others can no longer keep their dissatisfaction concealed, allowing their frustration to slip out through passing comments or lingering looks. Regardless of how they choose to react, the undeniable truth is the same. Their efforts to break your spirit have failed, and the power you now embody is impossible for anyone to deny. As your journey continues to unfold in the light of your success, their inner turmoil only grows more pronounced. The envy and regret festering in their hearts belong solely to them. You are no longer tethered to the emotional storms they created. Their heavy feelings, whether regret, resentment, or jealousy, are the harvest of their own decisions, the direct outcome of the path they chose when they could have chosen differently. If they now feel the sting of negativity every time your name is mentioned, it is because their actions built the prison they now inhabit. Had they reached out in kindness, offered encouragement instead of doubt, or acted from a place of empathy rather than competition, they would not feel the heaviness of remorse shadowing their lives. The bitterness and regret that color their days now are not yours to fix or carry. They are the echoes of every missed opportunity to treat you with dignity and respect. Among all the faces in your hometown, among every branch of your family tree, you have become the rare example of possibility realized, the one who defied all the odds and expectations. This truth unsettles those who once cast you aside. Your journey stands as a challenge to every limitation they tried to set, reminding them that their judgments, no matter how loudly or often repeated, could never alter your fate. They doubted, they resisted, and they may even have tried to recruit others to their side. But every attempt has only highlighted how powerless they were to determine your destiny. Your life is now undeniable proof that true strength cannot be measured by the noise of the crowd, but by the quiet resilience of someone who refuses to break. If resentment still lingers in their hearts or jealousy shadows their every thought, let it stay with them. It is not your responsibility to mend what they refuse to heal within themselves. Their frustration and bitterness are not your burdens to bear. Instead, they serve as reminders of the inner work they have yet to do. No matter how persistent their efforts, no matter how creative their attempts to control or define your story, they failed to seize what never belonged to them in the first place. Your strength, your spirit, and your unique presence were always yours, safeguarded by something higher than their schemes or intentions. You stand now in a place they never imagined for you, unshaken, unbroken, and untouched by the darkness they once hoped would consume you. Their attempts to stifle your growth or cloud your shine have only revealed the limits of their own vision, not yours. The world sees you for who you are, a living testament to resilience, perseverance, and the power of faith. As they come to terms with your continued rise, the only thing left for them to do is watch from a distance, wrestling with the reality that their influence over your story has ended. And while they sit with their lessons, you move forward, light, free, and ready to embrace a destiny that has always been yours alone. Untouched by doubt and unstoppable in your pursuit of truth and greatness. They spent countless hours and sleepless nights strategizing, reaching into every corner of their imagination to try and destroy something that, in truth, could never be broken. Every ounce of energy they poured into planning your downfall was met with the same result: shock and disbelief when nothing they attempted had any effect on you. It was as if every scheme bounced right off your spirit, leaving you untouched, and in some ways even stronger than before. Their repeated failures grew heavier with each attempt, leaving them not only frustrated, but also bewildered as to why the universe seemed to favor your perseverance over their plotting. They wasted precious time, time that could have been spent building something of their own, healing their wounds, or growing into better versions of themselves. Instead, their days were consumed by envy, fueled by a relentless desire to see you fail, blind to the fact that the only person truly being held back was themselves. As the years moved on, all those days spent conspiring have become an invisible weight pressing down on their lives. Regret lingers in the background of their thoughts, quietly reminding them of the time and opportunities they sacrificed just to see you stumble. It's a burden that sits heavy on the soul, a constant reminder that negativity and bitterness never bring about true satisfaction or joy. While they were busy resenting your progress and hoping for your failure, you were quietly making headway, taking step after step toward your goals. Success unfolded for you in plain sight, not because you had it easy, but because you kept rising no matter how many obstacles were put in your path. Even as they watched with resentment, you kept growing, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, blossoming into a version of yourself they never imagined possible. Now all that's left for them is to sit with the consequences of their choices. The bitterness that once seemed like a weapon has turned inward, becoming a prison of their own making. The past games, the manipulations, the twisted truths, all of it has faded into irrelevance as you've moved forward into a new chapter, untouched by their attempts to keep you bound to old wounds. If all they can do now is remain bitter, let them, because you no longer have space in your life for the negativity that used to swirl around them. Their only choices now are to watch your growth and happiness from afar or remove themselves from your journey altogether. Either way, their opinions, their judgments, and their emotions no longer have any power over your destiny. What was always meant to flourish in you continues to do so, protected by something greater than the reach of any gossip or bitterness. In the face of your authenticity and inner strength, their old tactics, false accusations, sly manipulation, underhanded gossip, are revealed for what they truly are: signs of fear and insecurity. For people threatened by your presence, the easiest way to cope was to twist the narrative, painting you as the villain and themselves as the victims, hoping others would believe their version of events. They tried to cloak their jealousy and deceit behind masks of self-righteousness and concern, thinking it would be enough to sway those around you. But the truth always has a way of finding its place, no matter how deeply someone tries to bury it. Over time, the people who really matter begin to see past the illusions and recognize who was honest and who was hiding something all along. Your resilience in the face of such adversity, your ability to keep moving forward with grace and dignity, has rendered all of their efforts meaningless. The strength you've gained, the wisdom you've developed, and the peace you've claimed are now untouchable by anyone's negativity or ill will. Your journey stands as proof that no one can take from you what is divinely yours. Not your purpose, not your character, and not your future. In rising above every attempt to bring you down, you have shown the world, and more importantly, yourself, that true power lies not in retaliation or bitterness, but in moving forward with unwavering faith and authenticity. Now, as they sit with the outcomes of their own decisions, you continue to rise, free from the shadows of their resentment, stepping boldly into a future that is entirely your own. They devoted endless hours weaving intricate plans to turn others against you, whispering half-truths and spinning tales designed to undermine your reputation. They reached out to friends, acquaintances, even strangers, anyone they thought would listen, hoping to sway opinions and build alliances against you. Yet in their relentless pursuit to create division, the only thing they truly managed to accomplish was exposing the nature of their own character. The people who mattered could see past the facades. They began to recognize the difference between authentic light and the shadows cast by envy. While your adversaries believed their efforts would leave you isolated or disgraced, the truth emerged even clearer. Favor follows you, not because of some random stroke of luck, nor because you hold any kind of unfair advantage, but because you have always chosen integrity over deceit, even when it wasn't the easy path. It is a law of life that those who plot against others, who thrive on deception, who find joy in another's misfortune, will never receive the blessings that are reserved for those with genuine hearts. The universe does not reward bitterness or envy. It elevates those who act with truth, kindness, and unwavering authenticity. Your journey has always been shaped by a commitment to remain true to yourself, even as others tried to cast you as the villain in their stories. They fed their actions with jealousy, watching your every move, convinced that by dimming your light, theirs would shine brighter. Yet while they were busy obsessing over your journey, they failed to realize why their own lives remained stagnant, why no amount of scheming brought them closer to the peace or success they craved. Time, with its quiet certainty, has made their intentions crystal clear to everyone around them. The more they focused on building roadblocks for you, the further they drifted from building anything meaningful for themselves. Instead of watering their own dreams, they spent their energy sowing seeds of resentment, bitterness, and rivalry. As the seasons changed and your journey continued, their efforts only became more transparent. They watched from the sidelines as you continued to rise, the brilliance of your spirit undimmed by their attempts to cast shadows. Each accomplishment, each breakthrough, each quiet victory was a direct contradiction to the limits they set for you. It became impossible to deny that the very light they tried to stifle now shines even brighter, reflecting back the truth of who you are and who they have become. Frustration settled in for them like a permanent guest, forcing them to confront the emptiness of their own choices. The contrast between your flourishing life and their stagnation became more glaring with every passing day. And while they may not voice it out loud, within their hearts they know integrity, authenticity, and pure intent always win out over bitterness and malice. You have surpassed every limitation they imagined for you, breaking through barriers that were never truly yours to carry in the first place. Every negative assumption they made, every story they tried to write for you has been erased by the undeniable reality of your strength, wisdom, and success. What stands before them now is not the defeated person they once hoped you'd become, but a living example of resilience and transformation. Their expectations of failure have been proven completely false, replaced instead with a vision of someone who has not only survived but thrived, despite all attempts to hold you back. It doesn't matter how hard they resist this new reality or how much disbelief they still carry. Respect for your journey is no longer optional. Whether they remain close by or choose to keep their distance, they must now acknowledge what they once refused to see: your growth, your elevation, and your unshakable transformation. It is there for all to witness. Undeniable, unwavering, and impossible to distort. They don't have to like it. They don't even have to understand it. The only thing that matters now is that they can no longer stop it. Their resentment cannot change your destiny. Their disbelief cannot alter your progress. All they can do is watch from whatever distance they choose as you continue to rise far beyond anything they ever imagined possible. The light they tried so hard to extinguish has become a beacon, not just for you, but for everyone watching, proving once and for all that no force of negativity can ever hold back the spirit of someone truly destined to flourish. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small, whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share. Your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are the chosen one. We've enjoyed following this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your destiny with courage. See you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls from the Enlightened Wisdom.